Sony's Titan films were a crazy ride. Like Hugh Jackman's up there with Robert Downey Jr. as a decision that a lot of people were scared of at first, but he actually does a fantastic job as Garfield Logan the Beast Boy. It is a bit weird that they made him the main character, and I get that he is the most popular Titans character, but they end up completely sidelining Dick Grayson's Robin, and only kinda sorta get into the whole thing with them and Raven. Patrick Stewart, as Niles Calder, continues the weird trend of including Doom Patrol in Teen Titans, and he does a phenomenal job. No wonder they keep bringing him back no matter how many times they kill him off, because he's just so perfect in the role, as well as Sir Ian McKellen as Brother Blood. Halle Berry's a lot better in this than Elektra. I really like the characterization of Argent and Aqualad in these films. Madame Rouge is perfect in these films. Well, the rest of the Brotherhood, they kind of exist, like Mammoth and Gizmo. It's a bit weird they made Mammoth into the brother of Beast Boy, though. But what's weirder is popping everyone in black leather rather than their comic book costumes, which sadly became a big trend, especially around this point in comic book movies, as a direct response to the very family-friendly and colorful Iron Man and Lad bombing. I mean, even the early DC cinematic universe was guilty of being gritty and realistic, and it took until Phase 4 for them to be okay with comic book suits. But we would have never gone that far if it wasn't for this movie, Wesley Snipes' I, Vampire, and Sam Raimi's Flash trilogy making comic book movies cool again. But I mean, honestly, I think I like T2 a little bit better. I just thought it was cooler, because, I mean, how can you go wrong with Alan Cumming as Blue Devil? And the practical suit is just amazing. Isaiah Hotspot is pretty unique, being part of the Titans, but eventually joining the Brotherhood. Firestar is in these movies, I guess. I mean, he does toss Beast Boy in the next film. Titans Last Stand is a big mixed bag of a movie. Like, it has really fun action, but they also kind of just stapled the whole Dark Raven saga to the end of a movie about a metahuman cure that they're trying to stop. They spent a lot of the first part of the movie setting up Dove, just for him to literally fly out of the film. Kelsey Grammer as Gnark is literally perfect casting. I don't think you could have gotten anyone else. Pre-transition Elliot Page's apparition's also great. I mean, you get the iconic, "I'm the cinder block, bitch!" which is actually a reference to a super old internet meme about the 90s show. I think this might actually be the first time a movie directly references a fandom thing. Titans Origin Beast Boy, it played all the time on FX, and it's a mixed movie as well, because like the first part of the film where Beast Boy's like origin and working with Task Force X is really good. That guy who looks like Elon Musk playing Chunk is great, and I wish he was in the last two films, but then he also just kind of leaves the film after a while. Ryan Reynolds is absolutely perfect as Adrian Chase, the vigilante. Absolute peak casting they always wanted to do, and then they fucked it up. By turning him into a generic monster that would have been fine in a different context if it wasn't Adrian Chase, literally melting his mouth shut for a character who's known for his comedy. You can count your blessings that they gave him a second chance. Tyler Kitches, who almost always has a career, is pretty cool as Roy Harper for the one scene he's in. Originally, he was going to be played by Channing Tatum, who, much like Ryan, really wanted to play this role, but he was contractually obligated to be in Mask: Rise of Venom and Mask: Retaliation. But much like Ryan, eventually he will get his redemption. But then we hit like the midpoint of the film, and it feels like they don't really know what to do anymore. Titans First Class, rebooting the series and sending them back to the 50s is a very unique choice. I do like the handling of the Big Four's younger selves. Seeing Niles and Brother Blood being best friends and eventually growing apart is handled well, and all these actors are perfect. Being able to capture the performances of their older actors while also setting themselves apart. The other young Titans are kind of just here. Rip to Cyborg, he'll come back in a few years as Mr. Fantastic. While the original Brotherhood definitely needed more screen time. The Changeling. I think this movie happened. They somehow made a movie about Beast Boy in Japan, just not rememberable at all. But it did give us the DC Select figure, which is kind of the holy grail of Beast Boy figures. Titans How Soon Is Forever is perfect, uniting both timelines. It's really cool seeing the contrast of the old cast and the new, and Beast Boy having to go back in time to stop the invasion of the Manhunters. Evan Peters as Kid Flash Max Mercury is absolutely perfect, and everyone can agree he's the highlight of these next couple films. He's just so funny in the slow motion as he does everything, it's so cool. It does cause some problems with the DCCU, but I mean, that's been the thing since the start with Robin being teased in the first Batman film, which eventually led to Nightwing in the League of Shadows. Titans, Trigon is a downgrade, and it's a total mess. I do like the design of Trigon in this film, but I don't think Oscar Isaacs was really needed to be this character. I feel like he could have easily been anyone else and would have done the same. It's cool seeing the other characters grow into their own, even though a lot of the newer ones are kind of just here. Logan, because his name is Garfield Logan. It's a really good movie, but not a good adaptation of Beastman because, well, of course, they don't have the rights to a lot of the extended DC universe. Like seeing Gar grow up and his powers are starting to fade and everyone around him is dead, and Niles is going senile and his powers are going insane, and he has to take care of Tara and make sure the government doesn't get her, and ultimately sacrifices himself to make sure the next generation lives on, with a big T for Titan. It's a good send-off for his character, even though, yeah, they'll bring him back. Titans, Dark Raven. But now, with Sony basically being owned by Disney, all the films are coming home to the DC universe, and we're eventually going to see them collide. It started falling off by the end, but these films were very important to the lifespan of the DC universe, and a lot of us grew up watching them, so you gotta give them at least some credit. Including me by hitting the hype button, and the like button, and the subscribe button. Please.